Hey story lovers, tonight's tale takes place in Abbeville, Alabama. My name is Clinton Manning and you're watching Tales by Firelight. One dark night, long ago in the 1910s, there was a young man who was out making his final deliveries for the grocery store he worked for. I mean, back then, they didn't have TV, they didn't have air conditioning, so people spent a lot of time outside. They spent time on their porch. Everyone knew their neighbors. So he had just finished his last delivery, and it was already after dark. So he started heading home. Luckily for him, he just took a straight path straight to his house from the back of the grocery store. So he was walking, and it was really dark. You see, back then, they only had lights on the busy streets, not on the side streets. So the light that he saw was coming from his porch light out in the distance, and the lights coming in from the sides from the main roads. So as he walked at night in the summertime in Alabama, it was warm, it was humid, he was kind of sweaty, and he was tired because he had a really busy day. Now he could hear his footsteps, he could hear crickets. It was really quiet and there was no one else on the streets. So as he was walking, he began to hear his footsteps behind him. So naturally he turned around and he looked. And to his shock, he saw a tall, 7-foot figure wearing a hood and cloak, standing maybe 30 yards from him. No, this is the part in the story where I tell you that he freaked out, turned around and ran as fast as he could to his house. But no, that's not how it happened this time. You see, this young man, he knew exactly what it was. See, in Abbeville, they have a legend of Huggin Molly. She's a 7-foot tall ghost. Basically what she does is she looks for little kids and teenagers who are out after dark. And if she sees them, their parents have been telling him these legends for a long time. So he heard about this growing up. That if she sees them, she will chase them down, she will give them a strong ghostly hug and scream in their face. So when he turned around and he saw what he presumed to be Huggin Molly, and he was terrified. But he had an idea. What if I don't run? So instead of running as fast as he could, he turned around and kept the same pace that he was walking before. And as he listened, he could hear the louder footsteps behind him also taking the same pace. Now with each footstep, as he could hear the footsteps behind him, he got more and more scared. He began to tremble. He began to sweat. He began to freak out. And he used all of his power, all of his self-control to keep him from running. But pretty soon his vision started getting blurry. He started hyperventilating, and he could hardly even see. The light from his porch was gone. But then he snapped out of it and he realized he was walking really fast. And the footsteps sounded much closer. It was right behind him. And so with all of the energy that he had, he slowed down his pace again. And lucky for him, he heard the footsteps behind him also slow down. So he walked at a normal pace, this long stretch all the way to his porch light. Now as he continued to walk, he made it to his picket fence, the picket fence that surrounded his home, his sanctuary. He decided to get off the street and walk on the sidewalk, casually, even gaining confidence. And as he passed the picket fence, he moved his hand so he could feel the tops of the fence posts as he brushed up against them, as they hit his hand. And as he felt those fence posts, memories of his childhood came to him, memories of comfort of him playing in his front yard. And before he knew it, he was at the gate. So he turned to the right, and in his peripheral vision, he couldn't see anything, but he didn't dare look. So he opened his gate, and the light was warm and glowing that lit up his property, and he walked onto the grass. He took a couple more steps until he got to the staircase. The creaks that the staircase made were very familiar, and he made it finally to the porch. Right on. He made it to the top of the stairs to the porch. And as he took each step, little by little, his fear, his anxiety was just melting away. And he finally made it to the door. He went and grabbed the doorknob, and for a split second he thought to himself, it worked. And with a feeling of victory, he began turning the doorknob when suddenly something grabbed him strongly by the shoulders and turned him around like a rag doll, lifted him up. The parents would tell their children, if you're out late and you happen to see Huggin Molly, you run home as fast as you can and you hope that she doesn't see you. Because if she does see you, she will find you and she will catch you. Hey story lovers, thank you for watching Tales by Firelight. Now, a lot of you are asking, you're missing tales or not able to get the new videos every time I release them. So I have an idea. If you're on Facebook, obviously follow See First. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit that little bell for a reminder. But even then, sometimes that doesn't work. So what you can do is on my Facebook page, to the right you'll find a link that says Become a Fan. Click on there and you can join my mailing list. And then I will personally send you an email every time I release a new tale. Alright, that's it for tonight. Have a good weekend, everybody. Goodbye.